Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Sunday message for August 16th of 2020. Today we're going to be talking about your pearl of great price. The Bible makes several references to pearls and their value to humankind. There's a passage from Matthew chapter 13 that refers to the pearl. In some translations of the Bible, it's called treasure. In other versions, it's called pearl. So here's a version from the New International Bible. It's a passage we call the Pearl of Great Price. The kingdom of God is like treasure hidden in a field. When a man found it, he hid it again, and then in his joy went and sold all he had and bought that field. So there's two things about this passage that stand out to me. First of all, the man found the treasure and then hid it. He didn't go screaming at the top of his lungs that he had found this treasure. He kept it secret within himself. The second thing, which is what most of us has heard about, is that he went, sold everything, and bought the field. Now, you could be thinking that, of course, he hid it. No one would want to find it. He wouldn't want anyone else to find it. And of course, he bought the land so he could have the treasure for himself. So there's two key elements here. First of all, this was a story that Jesus told, not an actual event, an allegory, a parable. And Jesus always spoke in parables. The second thing is, it's the two parts to that statement. So let's look at it from this angle. If this is a story of someone who is willing to give up everything in his world to have something better. So I have a question for you today. What is your pearl of great price? We all have at least one. It could be family over alcoholism, compromise over having your own way, health over just eating and drinking what you want. It could be a goal that you have set. Take the Olympians, for example. Their pearl of great price is to be the one at the top of their field. Anyone going after a degree of any sort, that degree is their pearl of great price. For each of these people, however, their pearl is they are willing to give up something to obtain it. Some are willing to give up drinking, smoking, eating things that are unhealthy for their bodies. Others are willing to give up going out, staying up late, even sleep to obtain what they want. So my question again is, what is your pearl of great price? Or do you even have one? Is there anything out there that you desire to have more than anything else? Is there any goal you have set for yourself to reach for that will challenge you? For those of you who have been alcohol, drug, or food addicted and have been able to come out of that, these people know the commitment it takes to stay the course in overcoming. For those athletes who want to be one of the top in their field, or anyone wanting a degree of any sort, they know what that deep commitment entails and what they have to give up to get what they want. They know the hours of study, sleepless nights, days of practice, discipline to get to where they want to go. So this brings us to the first part of that statement. The man went to the field, found the treasure, and then hid it. So where does that come into our reaching out for our own pearl in life? Hide it within your own being. Don't sit around and talk about it. Don't share with other people what you're going after, at least not until you have begun the selling everything to have what you are going after. It's become a well-known fact that people who go around talking about what they're going to do many times never get around to doing it or going after it. We can sit around complaining about our weight, our finances, our lives, but that in itself actually stops us from moving forward to doing something about it. So, hiding what our pearl is within our own being is actually the first step to have that desire come to be. People going after their degree, especially, they don't sit around talking about it. They're too busy studying for it. They are selling everything to get their treasure. And that everything could be time, sleep, kicking back and watching TV, going off and doing things, and so many other things. The top athletes don't sit around talking about what they're going after. They go within, hold that energy within themselves, and then go and practice, practice, and practice. So, once again, I'm going to ask you, what is your pearl in life? What is it that you truly desire to such a degree that you are willing to go after it and not talk about it until you have proven to yourself that you can overcome whatever comes up for you to go against what it is you want? To keep it silent until you prove to yourself that you will get up in the morning, no matter how you feel, and do that walk. To go to the grocery store and sidestep all the goodies and only put the wonderful, healthy foods into your basket. What are you willing to sell in order to have what you desire? So many of us, going back to that passage, go to the point of saying, well, Jesus was actually talking about having the greater spiritual connection. After all, he starts with the kingdom of heaven is like a great treasure. What does that have to do with all this thing that I'm talking about right now? Well, simply put, until you can prove to yourself that you will put forth the effort to require that is required to obtain something that you desire on this earth plane, how can you put forth the even greater effort required to fully be the light on this planet? For any of these people that I've already spoken of, if they were to begin to desire to have that deeper connection with God, with Source, if they were to begin to desire to be more like Christ, one with love and only love, well, they already know that the control of the mind is essential. The control of the thoughts that come in and ask for, the thoughts that come in and attempt to destroy everything that they have worked for. They know this challenge of fear and doubt, and they know just how hard it is to hold the thoughts that they wish to hold. You know, I would love to ask that you put oneness with God ahead of everything else in your life. And for some of you, I can ask that. But if you haven't tested yourself with things on this earth plane, just to see if you can stand up against the thoughts and doubts of obtaining something as simple as getting up every day and walking for 30 minutes, how can I expect you to rise to the highest goal there is of being one with Source in all ways? How can I ask you to, as the Course of Love states, dedicate all thoughts to union? The Saint Germain books state it this way: I dedicate all thoughts to union with the one source God. How can I ask you to do that? Instead, I'm going to ask that you look around you and see where you have been wanting something and have not attained it. Losing weight, having a better and healthier lifestyle, learning something new that you've always wanted to do. Whatever it is in your life for you, that is your training ground. Just watch the thoughts that come in when you have made the decision to begin walking for 30 minutes each morning. I overslept. I can't go. It's getting too hot outside already. I'll have to wait until tomorrow. I need a better pair of shoes. I didn't sleep well last night, so I won't have the energy. There are so many hundreds of thoughts, feelings, doubts that will come in to trip you up to not obtain that goal of yours. That pearl that you have set in front of you, if you cannot hold to the thoughts that this is all going to be so worth it no matter what, I can do that, then how can you begin to hold to the thoughts of fully being the light on this earth when everything around us is showing us otherwise? How can I ask you to hold the energy thoughts that your body is health and health alone if you give into the thoughts that derail you from getting up and going walking every morning for 30 minutes or whatever it is that you've set for yourself? Control of your own mind is the greatest effort you will ever put forth. Start by just looking at how many times you start something and then back off. That's the mind getting in the way. If we just look for something in our own physical world to set as that pearl and then just watch how the mind wants to get in to stop us, we can begin the process of overcoming the negative aspects of the mind. Then, when we do decide to begin to meditate once, twice, 3 times a day, we will have already practiced our own mind control. And we can then overcome all the thoughts that come in to stop us from doing that meditation. But being the light on this earth is so much more than just meditating. If you are going to choose to be the light, that also means that one of the aspects of humanness that you have to sell off is the aspect of judgment. You cannot be the light and sit around and judge anything. The Way of Mastery tells us this over and over again throughout all the chapters in the book. The light of God does not judge, it only loves. There are peaceful protesters marching in the streets for Black Lives Matter. And then there are those out there who attack them. And we can so quickly go into judgment of those who are doing the attacking. And yet they are the ones who need the most love sent to them. Anyone who attacks another is in great fear. Those in great fear need more love sent their way rather than more judgment and condemnation. So at some point in their life, they can stop being in the fear they are, to allow the truth of God to come into their lives. Can you be the one to hold that love in your heart for all those parties? Or will you continue to allow the thoughts of anger and judgment to come forth into your world? This is the mind control I'm speaking of. And this is the kingdom of God in your life. If this is so important to you, so precious to you, then are you willing to sell off and give up all the thoughts other than love for all of mankind? Any thought? So if your pearl of great price is the full connection with Source, with the Christ within you, so that you only express that Christ love in all that you do, all that you say, all that you experience, then there is a great price to pay. And that price is everything other than love. Every thought other than love, every feeling other than love, every action other than love. If you hold any animosity toward another person for anything, you have to more fully give that up. You have to truly surrender all your feelings toward this person to Source. You could just say to yourself, it is what it is, or they are who they are. Whatever goes on inside of you that can assist you to just giving up the judgment is what you have to do. As Saint Germain stated, I dedicate all thoughts to union with the one source God. That means all thoughts to God. Or you could say, I dedicate all thoughts and actions to the one source God. So, do we have to be perfect to do this? Absolutely not. We're still human. We're going to have thoughts and feelings that are not full of love. But yet, at the moment you realize that you're having those thoughts and feelings, you can just dedicate those to God, to Source, and ask for assistance in holding a greater degree of love. Because in that moment, you are thinking of God, of Source. So that is my message for you today. What is your pearl of great price? What are you willing to let go of all thoughts that keep you from attaining your pearl? Are you willing to only hold the thoughts that you can do this, whatever this is? Are you willing to choose something to go after just to see how many times your own thoughts come into play to try to stop you from attaining that pearl, and then move through those thoughts to continue on your path to reaching that which you have chosen? Maybe after seeing how your thoughts and actions are stopping you from having that which you desire, you can more fully appreciate whatever it is that you do desire when it comes to be. You can learn to more fully appreciate all the times that you do feel that oneness with God, with Source, with the Christ of your being. As you gain that control over those thoughts that come in to sabotage what you're going after, there comes a greater strength, a greater awareness, a greater knowingness of who you are in truth. A beautiful, powerful, incredible spiritual being of God. So, as always, as we always state at the beginning of each service, there is only one presence and one power active in the universe and in our lives, God the good, omnipotent. I love you, I bless you, I appreciate you, and I behold the Christ in you. May you have a beautiful and wonderful day, everyone. God bless each and every one of you. All my love.